Hi, welcome. This is Fredo, and I'm very happy to be meeting you again after a 2 month break from this wonderful series that is Santa Filomena. So, this is the beginning of part 2 that should take us well into the spring. And for this 17th episode, I have to say I pretty much scrambled because I really didn't take the time to be looking at stuff outside the game that I could be doing to improve or to expand my city. So I pretty much picked it up where I left it off and decided to go ahead with the different plans that I remembered having started. So I'm mainly developing in this episode this part of the city, which is on the opposite side of the center, with an extension to Calzonia that is leading to a new neighborhood, which is expected to be richer than Calzonia, and which I called Pernia. I didn't have much inspiration when I was doing it, but because I was listening to a Swedish singer whose name is Pernia, I thought, why not have her name as a district in the city? I also extended the other part of this area. You will see that later in this episode. The coast, I wanted this part of the coast to be much less dense than the rest of the city. So it's mainly country roads and small houses, not many shops, if not at all. Um, and then did some few other things in other parts of the city here and there. I also tried to develop some transports as well, which would then open the possibility for me to get some new buildings, some new unique buildings, and to to do this, I thought I would rework some shipping was ferry lines. You will see that later on in the episode as well. There's only a couple of things that I got from the workshop during the big break, and you will see me putting them in this episode here and there. For example, this building, this very colorful building, that came in 3, I believe, but I think I only placed one of them in this episode. Maybe I will put the others later on. What else did I do as well? I think I worked a bit on the big industrial quarter, which is little by little turning out to be smaller with time. I mean, for proportionally to the overall area, the overall city and population, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to expand or find a second big industrial quarter to create. But I believe that will be on the other islands opposite to the main one, because there isn't much places else where I can think I could develop such a big industrial complex and area like I did on this sandy part of the island. So that will be, I think, on the other one. I need to think about that later. Sorry if you might find that is too much camera movements. As I was saying earlier, I literally scrambled my way into this episode. It's like getting it back on, like, you know, when you've not when you've not done something in a while and you're coming back to it, it's like always difficult to like be as fluid and as efficient, I would say, than where I left it off, and so it took me a bit of time to get my hands back on it properly. So you will see me like pretty much scrambling for almost the entirety of the episode. There's something else I also forgot to mention is that there's another part of the city that I worked on to modify quite a bit, and it's this is still in the idea of changing the public transport by developing the monorail system and adding some new stations. So this neighborhood you see me working on at the moment is the one I decided to modify later on, and quite a bit. There's been it's New White Lane, I think the name of this neighborhood, and this district, and it's been through a lot of changes over time, I have to say. But when you think about it, it's in a key position in the city. It's very close to the, the big center, like the the commercial center, and it's like the closest important residential district to the core of the city, which is why it obviously, even though you don't want to, you don't want areas like this to change as much, you just can't go against it, because by developing transports and infrastructures uh, to make the heart of the city more accessible, you obviously need to get the closest parts um, up to date, pretty much. And so this obviously involves a lot of roads changes and even aesthetical changes uh, throughout the game. This is the part of the coast I was telling earlier I developed in this episode as well. This place I want it to be quiet, not many houses, mainly nature, lots of trees, uh, pathways. I see it as a place where people could come with their families on a Sunday and have a nice walk in the nature by the sea, and have like a breath of good take good breath of fresh air. I think I overdid it with the trees. Might need to correct this later. I put a few houses here and there. Obviously, I didn't want it to be completely empty, and I put some nice coastal commercial businesses to attract some tourists as well. In this place that, at the same time, I, I don't want it to be very like touristic, because there's not going to be monuments or anything like this, but it's mainly all the attractiveness that you could find through like cute little shops and piers and little like boats, harbors on the coastline. Nothing too fancy, nothing uh, to bling bling or to attract um, like basic tourists. It's just like some kind of secret place somehow that you come to have a good time and relax. but without the need to spend all your money. I'm not sure if I'm very happy with this road system that I had. It's not very straight, it's not very pretty looking. I might need to change it later. But I went ahead with it on the moment. I thought at least it's done and I can get back to it later to modify it. I also have to say this was recorded just a couple of days before the free new airport update came out, which is why you're not gonna see new features being used in this episode, but very obviously in the next one we will try them on and get to see how exciting they can be used in this beautiful place. And I think I leave it there for this 17th episode. Thank you very much for joining again this series, and I'll be very happy to see you on the next. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have fun enjoying the rest of this episode. Bye bye.